For the last 2.5 years, we've heard of Umar Khalid in different circumstances, in different situations. People have described him as a terrorist, as an anti-national. A few months ago, he was shot at, and everybody said this is a hoax, until obviously the people who shot at him were arrested. Now, I'm sitting here today with Umar Khalid, and I want to, sit down and ask you, when people describe you as a terrorist, as an anti-national, what do you have to tell them?
I only pity them. I only pity them for their disgusting thought process. I'm a 31-year-old young guy of this country who's been armed by the constitution to ask questions. And I'm asking questions to this government. This government has no answers. The easy way out for them is to defame those asking questions. And that is something that they've done not just with me, that is something they've done with a whole lot of people. So you have these new terms that have come up, anti-national, urban Naxal, liptard, all kinds of things they've used to defame people. There is almost a troll industry now, and those troll industry is sort of not just anonymous trolls anymore. It's mainstream anchors who have it's difficult to distinguish them, which is a journalist and which one is a troll. And then it becomes the script of the government as well. So the point is that the questions that we were raising here in JNU as when we were students about what the government is doing on the higher education front, they had no answers. We had a very solid movement regarding what they were doing with fellowships, what they did in Hyderabad Central University.
What was that?
See, ever since this government came, it had a very distinct agenda for higher education, which was one, to privatize it, which is to do away with public education system. Two, to saffronize it, which is to promote a certain ideology. The most blatant and the most brazen example was what they did in FTII, where they had this one person, Gajendra Chauhan, who's not even equipped to be the director of that institute, but they placed him only because he ideologically agrees with the ruling dispensation. And at that point of time, what started with FTII, or before that IIT Madras, sort of has been ongoing since then, and it's unprecedented. I mean, I would say in the last 30 years of our country, you've not had such a big students movement. Last time we had something like this was in the 60s. At that time, it was a global phenomenon.
Or even in the Mandal Commission, when the anti-reservation movement, picked up.
But that was different. This is slightly different from that. And what has also been very heartening, and why the students are also under tremendous attack by the government, and I am just one of those students who is under tremendous attack by the government, is also because at that juncture, there was no parliamentary opposition inside the parliament. The students played the role of the opposition out on the streets. There was a lot of people were disappointed with the election results, saying that this is not good for democracy if there is no opposition. A lot of people were disheartened, people who have been fighting for secularism, against communalism, for justice for right victims. They were very, very disappointed with the victory of the RSS and the BJP government and the complete absence of the opposition. जो छात्रों ने उस समय किया, वो लोगों को वो मनोबल दिया कि सच की आवाज़ें बोलने वाली अभी भी हैं. And since then, voices have only increased. So what started with students went on to a lot of progressive thinkers emerging, questioning this government, farmers' protests intensifying across the country. So the opposition on the streets has now exposed this government for what it is. It's an anti-poor government, it's an anti-people government, it's a corrupt government. And because it has no answers to the questions, it has no answers to the promises it itself made before 2014, it has gone down defaming people.
Now let's go back to the last attack on you. Some people came and shot at you, right? Were you scared?
देखिए, मैं कोई सुपरमैन तो हूँ नहीं, ना मैं शक्तिमान हूँ. मैं एक नौजवान हूँ इस देश का, और अगर आपके ऊपर बंदूक तानी जाएगी तो और आपको लगेगा कि बंदूक चला दी जाएगी तो आपको डर लगता है कि ये मेरी ज़िंदगी का अंत आ गया है. उन 15 सेकंड में मुझको भी लगा कि अब ज़िंदगी भाई ख़त्म हो गई है, क्योंकि इतने पॉइंट ब्लैंक रेंज से वो मेरे को पॉइंट कर रहा था.
कितनी दूर था आपसे?
वो बिल्कुल मेरा करीब था. मुझे पकड़ के गिरा दिया और बंदूक लेके मेरे यहाँ चेस्ट पे लगा दिया. थैंकफुली उसकी बंदूक चली नहीं. बाद में पुलिस ने बताया कि बंदूक जाम हो गई थी. तो आई वाज एक्सट्रीमली लकी. I don't know who these people were at that point of time. Now they've been arrested, they owned up to the attack, and we were even called to identify them.
Who are these people?
These are two young guys from Haryana who thought that they were doing something very patriotic, something very nationalistic. And frankly speaking, I have no bad feelings towards them. I have no hard feelings towards them. I'm not angry at them. I pity them. Because these are unemployed youth, and unemployed youth are being sort of given poison by this ruling regime. So that to divert attention away, and so that they should not identify who are actually responsible for their problems. I mean, both of them are unemployed. Both of them, one of them was a bouncer at a bar, the other one was a cab driver, they had got unemployed. And see, that's what the government is doing. A section of people which can emerge as a politically conscious mass, they are being converted into a mob. and they're being diverted the fact that there is an agrarian crisis in the country. Both of them are from Haryana. Haryana is also reeling under an agrarian crisis. They should not ask questions about what's happening back home. Rather, give them some fictitious enemies. Keep demonizing Umar Khalid as if Umar Khalid is responsible for the problems of the country. Umar Khalid is not responsible for the fact that Narendra Modi promised 2 crore jobs before 2014 and he's not been able to deliver 1% of those jobs. Umar Khalid is not responsible for the failures of demonetization. Umar Khalid is not responsible for the failures of GST. Umar Khalid is not responsible for the agrarian crisis in the country. But the ones who are responsible don't want to be held accountable, and that's why they are deflecting attention away. Sometimes it's Umar Khalid, sometimes it's Kanhaiya Kumar, sometimes it's someone else. And you know, had I been killed that day, and I said this just moments after the attack, I would not blame only those 2 people. I would blame all those people who are responsible for creating the situation, and that includes the ruling party, that includes its spokespersons who appear on television every night, and unfortunately it also includes certain media houses today. Without any basis, they have called me anti-national, they have consistently demonized me, they have consistently incited violence against me from primetime television without any legal basis. I mean, I was charged with sedition back 2.5 years ago. The police has not been able to proceed with the case.
They haven't filed a charge sheet.
They haven't filed a charge sheet. मतलब अगर उनको लगता है कि वो सच बोल रहे हैं जो मीडिया में बैठे हैं, तो ये बात वो पुलिस से क्यों नहीं बोलते कि भैया आप मुकदमा शुरू कीजिए, आप इनको कन्विक्ट कीजिए. मतलब सेडिशन चार्ज में जो पनिशमेंट है वो 14 साल की पनिशमेंट होती है, उम्र कैद. 2.5 साल में तो हमारा ये मुकदमा शुरू करके ख़त्म करके हमको 14 साल कन्विक्ट कर देना चाहिए. अब इसके 2 ही वजह हो सकती हैं कि इसको लेके क्यों इतने मतलब why are they not asking for a charge sheet? One, either our so-called nationalists don't believe in the rule of law, they don't believe courts are necessary, or 2, they also know they are lying, and they also know that if the matter reaches to court, I will be proved correct and they will be proved wrong. So, and the government will be proved wrong, and that is why this matter will never come to court. This matter will only be used to divert attention away. It's only going to remain propaganda.
So, let's talk to the audience and tell them, who is Umar Khalid? You know, well, you come from a home, you have parents, you have aspirations. Your parents must look at you. You're a 31-year-old boy who's finished his PhD now, who's submitted his PhD. Like, is Umar Khalid the terrorist, the anti-national as they describe as? But give me a little background. What does your father do for a living? What happens?
My father is a journalist. He's an Urdu journalist. He's also an activist who's consistently been involved in a lot of issue-based activism. My mother is a small-time businessman. We grew up in this place called Jamia Nagar. I went to Delhi University. After that, I came to JNU. When I came to JNU, I came with a lot of dreams. I came thinking that this is a time when I'll do my post-graduation, probably go into research and try and understand. I was a history student, and try and understand the problems that we are facing today. What is the historical basis of that? And probably contribute as an academic to these problems. But जब मैं यहाँ आया तो एक चीज़ मुझे जो JNU ने बहुत सिखाई और जिसके लिए मैं बहुत आभारी हूँ कि नॉलेज वो सिर्फ क्लासरूम की 4 दीवारी तक सीमित नहीं है, और अगर आप क्लासरूम के 4 दीवारी तक सीमित रहे तो शायद आपको नॉलेज मिलेगी ही नहीं. मेरा रिसर्च का विषय आदिवासी क्षेत्रों में जो कुछ पिछले 200 साल में हुआ है उसके ऊपर है. और जब मैं यहाँ पढ़ रहा था तो अगर दिन में मुझे वो लेक्चर करने जाता था तो रात में कोई ना कोई पब्लिक मीटिंग होती थी जो उन इलाकों से लोग आके बताते थे अभी के एक्सपीरियंसेस. तो अभी की लड़ाई और क्लासरूम में जो पढ़ा रहे हैं ये 2 अलग चीज़ें नहीं है. ये मुझको JNU ने सिखाया. एक और चीज़ जो मुझे JNU ने सिखाई कि जो आपकी समस्याएं हैं और जो और लोगों की समस्याएं हैं उनका जो रीज़न है वो एक है. एक उदाहरण लेके बोलता हूँ. हम लोग जब JNU में थे तो हम लोग एजुकेशन की प्राइवेटाइजेशन के खिलाफ बोलते रहे. हमने बोला एजुकेशन कोई प्रिविलेज नहीं है, एजुकेशन सबका राइट है. संविधान सबको राइट देता है कि राइट टू एजुकेशन. और सरकार जो पब्लिक यूनिवर्सिटीज़ को बेच के प्राइवेट कंपनीज़ को ला रही है, जब 10 लाख 20 लाख रुपए फीस होती है, उससे बहुत सारे लोग एजुकेशन से बाहर हो जाएंगे. जब हम इस मुद्दे को उठा रहे थे तो ये बात भी हमको समझ में आई कि एक तरफ हायर एजुकेशन के सेक्टर से पैसा जा रहा है, दूसरी तरफ एग्रीकल्चर से भी पैसा वापस लिया जा रहा है, दूसरी तरफ एग्रेरियन जो क्राइसिस हमारे देश में है और जो कर्जे में किसान हैं उनका कर्जा माफ़ नहीं किया जा रहा बल्कि कॉर्पोरेट घरानों को कर्जा माफ़ किया जा रहा है. तो एक बात समझ में आई कि हमारी लड़ाई और उनकी लड़ाई और हमारी जो दुर्दशा है और उनकी दुर्दशा है उसके लिए एक ही फोर्स जिम्मेदार है. तो सिर्फ स्टूडेंट्स अकेले लड़ाई नहीं लड़ सकते, फार्मर्स अकेले लड़ाई नहीं लड़ सकते, हम दोनों लड़ाइयों को जोड़ना है. तो ये चीज़ भी किस तरीके से कनेक्शन बनाया जाए ये भी हमको JNU ने सिखाया है. और ये बात को लेके यहाँ के फॉर एग्जांपल फरवरी 2016 के बाद बड़े बड़े नेता आके बोलते थे आप तो स्टूडेंट्स हैं, आप स्टूडेंट्स ना पढ़ाई कीजिए, राजनीति क्यों कर रहे हैं. और मज़ेदार बात है कि जितने नेता के बोलते थे बीजेपी को वो सारे वो नेता हैं जो स्टूडेंट पॉलिटिक्स से निकले हुए नेता हैं. बात यह है कि हम पॉलिटिक्स नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम यहाँ सिर्फ अपने अधिकारों की बात कर रहे हैं. पॉलिटिक्स आप कर रहे हैं. हमारा वाइस चांसलर कौन होगा ये पॉलिटिक्स तय करता है, हमारी यूनिवर्सिटी की फीस क्या होगी ये पॉलिटिक्स तय करता है, हमारे दाल का दाम क्या होगा ये पॉलिटिक्स तय करता है। और अगर ये सारी चीज़ें पॉलिटिक्स तय करती हैं तो फिर हमको तय करना पड़ेगा हमारी पॉलिटिक्स क्या है। मतलब जस्ट बिकॉज आई डोंट टेक इंटरेस्ट इन पॉलिटिक्स डज नॉट मीन दैट पॉलिटिक्स विल नॉट टेक एन इंटरेस्ट इन मी। सो इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट टू बिकम politically conscious, it's important to become a aware citizen, and that is an aspiration that everyone should aspire towards. I mean, that's a good thing that is being criminalized today, that if you are a politically aware person you are an anti-national. If I'm called an anti-national for becoming a politically aware person, I accept the tag.
But when people call you a terrorist, what do you have to, like, you know, what do you tell them? There must be a way around it. Like, I'm not a terrorist, I'm a student, just like you are, your children are. Like, how does one shake that tag off? What do you, like, in the world that we live in, how do you shake a tag off where when you go and walk in for a job, people are going to turn around and say, oh, but you've been described as a terrorist all over the media?
Yeah, that is important. I've been described as a terrorist all over the media. I have not been described as a terrorist by any of the investigative agencies. I have not been described as a terrorist in any of the court proceedings. And here I have a question for Narendra Modi, who is the Prime Minister of this country. I may be his ideological critic, but when he sees me being defamed, when he sees me being lied about, he's also my Prime Minister. He's the Prime Minister of the entire country. He doesn't forget to remind the opposition again and again of the fact that he's the Prime Minister of the entire country. So he's also my Prime Minister. If someone is lying about me so blatantly and making my life vulnerable through those lies, these are not even innocuous lies, these are dangerous lies. You are defaming a person, you are making his movement in the city quite dangerous. Narendra Modi should have taken the channel to task, or his government should have taken the channel to task, or the INB ministry should have taken the channel to task. But what do I see in return? That Narendra Modi gives an interview to the very same journalist who lied about me. So it's very clear that Narendra Modi wants his opposition opponents defamed, lied about, demonized, because Narendra Modi has nothing to show on his own performance to the people of this country. The only way this regime can survive is by defaming all of those who are asking questions. And today, you look at me, for example, I am his ideological critic. I was lied about and the government did not do anything about. And you look at Jai Shah, who is not a government, he doesn't hold a government post. He happens to be the son of the president of the ruling party, which is Amit Shah's son. There is a story that comes out about him, of how his fortunes changed after Narendra Modi came to power. The government, the Bharatiya Janata Party, filed a defamation case against that particular news portal. And that defamation case had no basis. Jai Shah, who files the defamation case, fails to turn up in consecutive hearings, and eventually the defamation case, nothing comes out of it. But on the other hand, someone like me who's only asking questions, someone like Kanhaiya who's only asking questions, they are defamed like this. Also, one important thing we need to keep in mind, see, all three of us were arrested, me, Anirban Bhattacharya and Kanhaiya Kumar. All of us were defamed, all of us were lied about, this entire university was lied about as a den of anti-nationals. All kinds of funny things were also said about the university, about condoms and beer bottles and all kind of things. But in the defamation also, there was a very distinct way in which I was defamed, which was this entire Pakistani terror link that was said about me. And I've thought about it again and again, why did they single me out for that kind of a campaign? Why did they single me out for that kind of a demonization campaign? And somewhere I thought that to say that Kanhaiya Kumar visited Pakistan twice or Anirban Bhattacharya visited Pakistan twice, this story won't sell. But this can be easily said about someone whose name is Umar Khalid. And why I am saying so is because the ideology of the ruling party and the ideology of the RSS, which governs the ruling party, believes that Muslims, their loyalty does not lie in India. I mean, it's not me saying it. I mean, you read Golwalkar, you read Savarkar. They've again and again emphasized how Muslims are not loyal here. And that kind of a stereotype they've propagated about Muslims, and it was only to cater to that stereotype that they demonized me like that. I understand that anyone who's asking questions is vulnerable today. Anyone who's asking questions is being defamed today. Anyone who's asking questions is even being assassinated today. Kalburgi, Dabholkar, Pansare, Gauri Lankesh, none of them were Muslims. But when it comes to minorities, the demonization takes a very different form. And it's a very dangerous thing. I mean, yes, I am a Muslim, but I am also a citizen of this country. So that is also my identity.
But you've been attacked with guns. Has the Delhi police given you protection?
Not yet. I mean, and this was not the first time I approached the Delhi police for protection. I've been getting threats for 2.5 years. और 2.5 साल से मैं उनको बार बार बता रहा हूँ कि मेरे मारने की धमकियाँ आ रही हैं मुझको. आज तक दिल्ली पुलिस ने इसमें कोई रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के साथ कुछ काम नहीं किया. आज भी ऑलमोस्ट 1 महीना होने वाला है इस हमले को लेके. आज तक अगर मैं उनको फ़ोन करता हूँ कि आपने मेरे एप्लीकेशन का क्या किया, so one department says, we have shifted to the other department. When I call the other department, they say we have shifted to the third department. So they are trying to pass it off as bureaucratic carelessness. But I see it as the complicity of the regime. That one of the critics of the ruling dispensation wants to make that person vulnerable, and by making him vulnerable, they want to silence him. The point is, I'm not going to get silenced.
Sure.
I'm not going to get silenced, and these threats are not going to silence me. Even if something happens to me tomorrow, I represent some ideas. That those ideas are not my own. Those ideas are ideas of a very large collective that is raising those questions. Those ideas will survive, will outlive me.
Sure. You know, if you look at Umar Khalid, he's a student at a university, and through your student days, you stand for things, you fight around ideas and concepts. So, looking at him as a terrorist belonging to an anti-national lobby who wants to see, you know, they describe it as who want to break India into different parts, maybe a very narrow way of looking at things. Possibly a good way to look at it is to have a discussion around him, and Delhi police will have to take responsibility for the safety of an individual who's been shot at in the capital of India. This isn't some odd banana republic. This is the largest democracy in the world. And if its citizens can be safeguarded in it, then we have something larger.
Rohit, can I say one thing?
Sure.
When we talk about anti-national, who is an anti-national? I think that is something we need to really define. What is a nation? A nation is made up of its people. And whoever goes against the people is the biggest anti-national according to me. The fact that this government has not delivered on the promises it made. I did not say before 2014 that 2 crore jobs will be given to all Indians. I did not say that 15 lakh will come in every Indian's account. I did not say that farmers' distress is coming to an end. This is all that Narendra Modi said. And far from delivering on his promises, he has made India worse economically. I mean, far from delivering on this promise of 2 crore jobs, demonetization has killed the existing jobs in the country. So who is an anti-national? The government is the anti-national. The government is working against the interests of the people. In the year after demonetization, while the GDP of India fell, while informal sector collapsed, while agriculture collapsed, while small businesses suffered, Ambani and Adani grew their fortunes by leaps and bounds. Ambani had a 76% increase in his turnover. Adani had a 125% increase in his turnover. BJP's income increased by leaps and bounds. So it's very clear that this government is working for a minuscule minority, which are the richest people of this country, which are the richest people of the world. I mean, they're not even working. They say that Hindu-Muslim card they keep on playing. They're not even working for the Hindus. They're not even working for the common Hindus. This is a party of the rich. This is a party of the powerful. And they want to hide this fact by this hollow nationalism that they talk about. They are not nationalists. They are the biggest anti-nationalists in the country.
Well, and that's a charge Umar has for the government in power. And I think the Delhi police will still have to make sure that Umar Khalid's life is safe and people aren't able to, run around capital of India with guns attacking him.